guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another Korean language learning video. It's actually been a minute since I've done one, but yeah, today I wanted to talk about how to learn vocabulary and how to memorize it in an effective way, you know, because I feel like vocabulary can be very overwhelming, and you know, there's just so much of it. And like, if you think about how many words you use just in a day in your native language, and then think about trying to get to the same level of fluency in another language, it can just feel very overwhelming. So today I'm going to share with you how I learn vocabulary and how I make an effort to memorize it in an effective way. Like, yeah. But yeah, don't forget, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you know when I'm posting. I usually post, these days I post a lot of travel content, although yeah, I'm not planning to travel a lot, but I have a lot of backlog, so you might see some more travel content, but it won't be like in chronological order. And I also have a couple of practical videos coming up about life in Korea, driving, etc. So if you would like to see those, please subscribe to my channel and let's get into it. Okay, so I know a lot of the time when we think about vocab, we think we need a book like this. So this is the 2000 Essential Korean Words for Beginners. This is the beginner level, from Darakwan Publishers. This is actually a really good vocab book. You know, if you're going to use a book, I'm going to show you now how I actually use books like these to study. So the first step that you would do with a book like this is you would open to wherever you're going to study. So this one's divided into I don't know if you can see that properly, but all sorts of chapters about certain things. So we have like everyday life, time, leisure. It's important to actually learn in categories like that, because then you can actually kind of compartmentalize vocab in your brain. So like in this situation, I'm gonna need this vocab, so it's gonna come out like that. So let's open to somewhere random. So here we have seasons. Okay, I haven't touched this page. I actually haven't studied like from a book in a minute. I basically use apps now, because I'm just always on the go. So yeah, but basically if I did have to use this book, how I would do it is you would have a page like this. So it's got words like fall, winter, a season, what, spring, 4 seasons, summer, consecutive holidays. So it's got 가을, 겨울, 계절, 무슨, 봄, 사계절, 여름, 연휴. So I already know all of these words, so I would highlight them so that I make sure I don't study them. So you would only highlight words that you are certain you know, fresh from memory. Like if somebody in the spot needs you to use that word, you're going to use the word, not a word that you have to think about what it is, or sometimes you forget how to spell it, or like, you know, if you are the slightest bit hesitant about the word, you don't highlight the word. You need to study it each time like you're studying it for the first time. That's the only way it's going to stick in your brain. So usually what I do is I'll write down, let's say I'm going to study the word, I think the most difficult word here would be 연휴. So let's say I'm going to study the word 연휴. So I will write then the Korean word 연휴. Then next to it I will write consecutive holidays, holidays in a row. I'll write the definition. And then I will write an example sentence. So an example sentence is essential so that you can learn the sentence within context. So here it says, 젊은 사람들은 설이나 추석 연휴에 여행을 많이 갑니다. So here I would write this example sentence down, and then if there is a word in the example sentence that I don't know, I will make an arrow. So here, 설이나. Sol is actually sonnar, but it just says sorina. So I think I would highlight or like underline sorina and then look it up separately and learn that word separately. And then I don't need an example sentence because I've already learned it in context. Then if there were any usage terms for this particular word, I would also then write that down. So if, for example, you only use 연휴 in a certain occasion, then I would write down that note so that I know only to use it at that occasion. So you would write down usage notes like that. If you find that now, okay, you've got this word down, you know, you find the thought of revising daunting. Personally, I find revising daunting. Like, I love making notes. absolutely love it. I actually use it as a form of procrastination, but the thought of looking through my notes and reading them like a book really tires me out. Just the thought of it drains me. So what I would do is then I would go to an app that is going to make flashcards for me. You can make them yourself, but like there are just so many words to learn. I don't know, like it's just and also like save the trees. But yeah, just use an app or like a memo, whatever works for you, and make flashcards that you can practice. You know, like when you're riding the bus, you can just go through the flashcards really quickly. When you just have some free time, you wake up a bit earlier than your alarm, in those situations. So that's what I usually do with these notes then, and that's kind of also my way of revising it, because I'm one of those people who's very tactile when I study. So I need to write things down because then touch is involved, and I need to speak out loud because then there's hearing and sound, and then it feels like these things are going to soak in my brain. So when I review again, if when I'm reviewing them and I read this word Jaurné, that site, and then I type it into whatever app I'm using to make flashcards, then that's touch as well, and then I say it to myself. And that app, usually these apps have what you call it, these apps, when you review, they might have voices that say the word to you or whatever the case is. Then that's sound as well. I almost dropped my phone. How slick. Okay, always learn vocab in context. I can't stress this enough, because if it's a language like Korean, so many words are the same but with different meanings, and this is because of hanja and because of like slang and because of this and because of that, and you don't want to be the person in a social situation who uses the wrong word at the wrong time and makes it awkward. Okay, so always learn words in context, in a sentence, with examples, in more than one sentence if you can, please. Because it's really going to save your bacon later if you're talking about things that are a little bit more advanced. You know, if you're just talking about strawberries and whatever, you know, but if you're talking about like you know, social issues or whatever, you're gonna need to learn those words in context, because I mean, I've even been in a situation where I used the word wrong and it just made things awkward. No one was mad at me because I am the foreigner, but you know what I mean, like if you can prevent it. So yeah, one of my #1 tips is learn words in context. My next tip, repeat. If you are not even sure about like one little syllable of the word, you study it like it's a new word each time. Okay, this is what I do. If I'm not 1000% sure about the word, I study it like it's a new word every time I see it, and that's how it sticks in my brain. Okay, the other thing is, like, don't feel like for vocabulary you need to have like a huge vocab session. It just doesn't work like that. Either study like grammar or like reading, or you know, practicing, I don't know what, listening, and then study your vocab in between doing that. That helps a lot. Or if you're going to do just the vocab session, don't exceed 20 minutes, because you're not going to remember all of the words you learn in 20 minutes. Like, unless you have like a super brain. In that case, call me, because I have some things I need to get done and I could use a super brain. But yeah, don't overexert yourself trying to study vocab, because your brain literally, it will be somewhere in your brain, but you're not going to learn it effectively if you're going to try to learn vocab for an hour. If you can, do like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes max of vocab every day, and that is when you'll see that you actually are starting to retain a lot more vocab, because then when you study other things for that long period of time, you see these words and then you're like, I know what that means. Which is a really cool feeling. Also, I mentioned studying with textbooks. Another way that I study, I kind of just watch media in the language that I'm learning, and then what I do is I do screenshots if I see a word that I don't know, and then later I just search it, and like I said, put stuff in flashcards or whatever the case is. So that's also another really effective way to learn practical words, because also like these are words you actually use in real life and not like textbook words. So that's another one. But if you are also like me and you find yourself even busier and you can't even make flashcards for yourself and you couldn't be bothered, then I really want to recommend to you this app called Ling App. I found when I use the other apps, they get redundant very quickly. if that's a way to say it. Like, you know, you start with your beginner things, your apples, your strawberries, your what day is it, what's the weather like, you know, and then at some point it just becomes repetitive and it feels like you're not really getting anywhere even after you've like nailed that level, you know what I mean? It feels like you're stuck at a level. So what I always say to people is that use those apps when you're a beginner, but then after that you need to switch to like textbooks and other resources. But this app is not like that. It's called Ling App. So Ling App looks like this. If you go in, look at the little graphics, aren't they cute? Okay, so it's loading. So it says learn faster with interactive games. So I also really like this. Instead of going through boring flashcards, you can just learn with interactive games. And also, you know, as an English teacher myself, when I teach English as a second language, we mostly play games because it's amazing. The kids will like not pay attention the whole lesson, but if it's a game they pay attention, so they actually retain a lot more. So I feel like our brains are actually just designed to retain more information if we're having a good time. And then it will say evaluate your speaking fluency, which is really cool. Practice writing and reading, so you do both skills. And then it says set targets and earn rewards, earn bananas to rank higher in the leaderboard, and use coin to get hints in the games, right? So then you say I want to learn, so I'm going to put in Korean. It's preparing the lessons. So I'm doing this app with you guys for the first time to give you kind of a first time feel and review for it. Let's try this daily conversation. Okay, so there you go. You have your practical situation. So like I said, I always learn in context. I think it's really important to learn your vocabulary in context, so you can have this conversation, and you can replay it. So there's the replay button over here. You can replay it, you can translate it or take the translations away. So here we have it just with the Korean and the romanization, and then here we have it with English translations as well. Okay, and it's between two colleagues. Then you say continue.
나는 여자입니다.
Okay, you learn new vocabulary in that way, and then it gives you a quiz. So it says select the correct answer. A woman, so you can say 소녀, 소년, 남자, 여자. So it was 여자. Check. And then it goes, try to sort this sentence. 나는 여자입니다. 나는 여자입니다. I am a woman. Check. Congratulations, your trial lesson has completed. So I think it gives you this also so that you can see what the app is like kind of before you commit to it. So here you can get the premium version of the app. It's got unlimited access to 50 languages. You can evaluate how fluent you speak compared to a native, and you can polish your writing skills at any time. Okay, so the way this app is set up is it's set up into beginner. So there's introduction, basic sentences, numbers and family, numbers and counting, activities, foods and tastes, and so forth. And then it goes into intermediate, and it's set up in units, so you can keep really good track of how you are studying and how far you are and what level you are as well. And it goes into places and locations, navigation, occupation and workplace, clothing, accessories, etc. Then it goes to upper intermediate. So this is where I am. I'm kind of upper intermediate myself. It goes traveling, in the classroom, music, post office and bank. So now these are practical things that, I mean, if you're going to be upper intermediate, you're very likely to actually go to the country that's language you're learning. So I think that is the reasoning behind that. And then it's got advanced, so it's got body and appearance and stuff like that. So I'm going to go, oh, and then there's expert, which is business, business talk, nature and landscape. So I myself am not an expert, but I'm going to go into the expert level just because I like things and that excites me. Business, and you can see kind of the kinds of words that you can learn. Okay, so here we have the word 기회, and 이것이 그녀에겐 기회예요. So 기회 is opportunity. 이것은 그녀에겐 기회예요. This is her opportunity. You say continue. Oh, and the nice thing is that if you need to hear it slower,
기회.
기회.
이것이 그녀에겐 기회예요.
이것이 그녀에겐 기회예요. Okay, and you can hear it again.
기회.
기회.
이것이 그녀에겐 기회예요.
And it comes out at a really natural speed, so I also really like that. Then you say continue.
그녀는 자기 매니저에게 항의를 받았어요.
Okay, 항의하다. So I don't know this word. 항의하다 is to complain. 그녀는 자기 매니저에게 항의를 받았어요. 항의하다, to complain. So she got a complaint from her manager. She was complained by. She was complained by her manager. She got a complaint from her manager. 그녀는 자기 매니저에게 항의를 받았어요. She got a complaint from her manager. We continue, and then it gives us this quiz. Select the correct answer. Opportunity, 기회였죠? It was 기회. That's right. 고용하다 is to hire.
고용됐어요.
그는 진달 상사에게 고용됐어요. 지난달 상사에게. So another cool way to study, another cool way that I study vocab is sometimes if I know a certain amount of words in a sentence, I try to figure out what the remaining word is. So for example, 그는 지난달 상사에게 고용됐어요. So 그는 he 지난달 the past month, in the past month, 상사에게 his superior 고용됐어요 was hired. So I just learned that word now. 고용하다. 그는 지난달 상사에게 고용됐어요. He was hired by his boss last month. So continue. And it says to complain. So to complain was 항의하다. Check. Okay, good. Match these cards. Okay, so now we have to match the cards. 항의하다 would go with the sad face, right? To complain. 고용하다. I'm guessing would be this finger to select someone, right? And that's right. And then 승진하다, I'm guessing is this person going up. So I actually know what 승진하다 means. But if you didn't, I think, process of elimination, you actually automatically learn this word associated to the picture. So
해고하다. 그는 자기 매니저에 의해 해고됐어요.
Okay. 해고하다. 그는 자기 매니저에 의해 해고됐어요. Okay, so you see this level is a bit too difficult for me, but I personally prefer studying work that's a little bit more difficult. I don't know. I think that's why my level can be very mixed depending on what we're talking about. But yeah, I really enjoy this. So that's really cool. Okay, if we go into the beginner introduction, right, I'm going to go into the lower level just to show you the review. So you can review all, and then it says dialogue. It says vocabulary, dialogue, and grammar. You click vocabulary, then it will be 여자, 남자, 소녀, 소년, 25, 25, 12, 12, 14, 14, 40, 40, 미국, 독일, 중국, 일본, 영어, 독일어, 중국어, 일본어. And then here we have dialogue. So here was the dialogue from earlier. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 어떻게 지내요? 저는 잘 지내요. 당신은요? 저도 잘 지내요. 고마워요. 잘 가요. 나중에 봐요. 잘해요. Okay. So we have dialogue that you can review as well. And then we have grammar points. So I personally do not like sitting down with the textbook to study grammar, which is why I really like this app, because I can just study the grammar like this, like first person, polite, pronoun would be cho, and the plain pronoun, the not impolite but just the casual pronoun, would be na. So you can already learn that, and the structure is there as well with examples. So pronoun and noun and verb to be. Then you have all of the numbers in both systems, countries, and then we have learning about conjugation. So this app is literally an all-in-one, and it's also not just teaching you how to parrot what should I say, you know, the other apps kind of teach you how to parrot like tourist phrases, like where's the bank, and then you just keep saying where's the bank over and over again, but you never learn anything else, like functional things that need to happen in the bank, or you know, words to do with the bank. So I really like that about this app. And you can also give yourself an exam, so that's a really nice way to evaluate yourself. 당신은 남자입니다. You are a man. Check. A boy is 12 years old. 소녀는 12살입니다. Check.
14, 14,
14, 열넷. And then you get listening practice. Check. A girl is 14 years old. 소녀는 14살입니다. 땡. 소녀는 14살입니다. Check. And if you need a hint, there's a little hint button. You just spent 1 coin to show a hint. You can just spend coins to show a hint. So it gave me a hint there. Put 2 words there, and I just need to put the missing one. 나는 25살입니다. I am 25 years old. Check.
15년,
So the other cool thing is you can also learn a lot of other languages. So we have here Afrikaans, Albanian, Arabic, Armenian, Bengali, Bosnian, Bulgarian, Burmese, Cantonese, Chinese, Croatian, Czech, I still can't say that properly, Danish, Dutch, English, Estonian, Finnish, French, Georgian. Wow. But regardless, you can learn a lot of languages. So yeah, I think this is a really handy app. And like I said, if you are somebody who is, you know, very much on the go and on the move like me, but you still want to study languages, then this is really nice to study in your free time. You can also switch off the sound. So if you're worried about having to use the sound in public and you don't have earphones, you can also switch off the sound and just do it like soundless. So yeah, these have been my tips on how to study vocabulary and get it to actually stick in your brain. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.